This is just stunning. I mean, you remember the Hidden Boss one? I think that still may be
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss, right? Where the executive sinks down to walk among his people, right? Like a king who decides to dress up and walk amongst the peasants to understand their lives more. And then he gets a revelation because he meets a virtuous worker, a virtuous peasant, who he then bestows upon him a knighthood and allows him a good place in the castle. And bring your family. Your family will also live in the castle, and forever you will join us at the feasts. The rest of the peasants, well, they're still going to be living in squalor and are going to be basically cannon fodder if that duke down the road wants to come attack. But you guys will be living in one of the high towers.
Yeah, that show is actually like a competition between like two. Like he has to choose one of two workers to give this promotion to.
Right, of course. It's like, if that's not offensive enough, here we have CBS coming out with a show called The Briefcase.
What would you do if $101,000 landed on your doorstep?
If I know one thing, that's true. What you say is what you do.
Across America, hard-working families are feeling the impact of rising debts and shrinking paychecks.
Pause it. Now, I like how they have this sort of like uplifting music. Rising debts. Struggling with bills. But that's all right. There's still hope on the way. Don't worry about that. There'll be in the future. I mean, it really is amazing, right? I mean, it really does feel like, I guess, like the Hunger Games or some type of futuristic, or I guess, don't worry about being poor in this life. Because in the next life, you're going to rise up. Continue.
These tough times are testing the human spirit.
Pause it. These tough times are testing the human spirit. Now think about how divorced that sounds from what's going on there. This isn't these people aren't stuck on a raft in the ocean. They're living in society, a society that's set up in a specific way, a society that didn't punish bankers for driving the economy in the ground, a society in which the rights of workers and the encouragement of workers to band together to enrich themselves, to strengthen their financial security is diminished. An era where taxes are nearly at an all-time low in the past 70 years for wealthy. No, these are trying times when the human spirit is tested. Wow, that sounds like a Joseph Conrad novel, except for this is just life.
Series that will make you question what really matters most.
Pause it. Will these poor people, these struggling people, not like me, I get paid quite a bit to do this voiceover actually, will they find out what really matters most? Continue.
Each week, two deserving families that have been dealt a tough hand.
We are living paycheck to paycheck.
Pause
I'm so
it.
sick.
Deserving families. There's a whole country full of people struggling with debt, trying to make ends meet. They are every day under the strain of knowing whether or not they'll put food on the kids for their tables for their kids. And we just found two families that are deserving of perhaps some consideration of help. In fact, actually, what they're actually deserving is that we're going to put them in the stadium and watch the Tigers rip them apart.
Struggling.
Will be given a briefcase with $101,000 inside.
Is this really my money?
No way!
Oh my God, I've never even seen so much money in my life.
And it will change their lives forever.
It could really help my family pay a lot of the student loans that we have.
It sets up a house, everything that we've been dreaming for.
Thank you guys so much.
But with the $101,000 comes a life-altering decision.
The money is yours, but there also is a decision.
You can keep all of the money, you can keep some of the money, or you could choose to give all of the money away.
If you decide not to keep it all, what's ever left is going to go help another family who may be in as much need or maybe more than you guys.
What the families don't know is that they were both given a briefcase and are actually contemplating whether to give any money to each other.
There's no way we can give 1 penny to them.
I'm sorry, this was offered to us.
I'm gonna give it all away.
Over the next 72 hours, they'll receive information about each other.
Their total debt is $490,000.
I had a heart attack when I was 38.
We're just a gun-toting, God-fearing Republican family.
What would this family think about us?
I do believe that marriage is between one man and one woman.
To help in their decision, they'll secretly visit each other's lives.
He lost his leg in war. What an unselfish act for him to do.
One of their children has autism, which makes it even more difficult.
In the end, both families will be flown to Los Angeles for a shocking reveal.
There's one more thing you need to know.
There are 2 briefcases.
Oh my gosh.
Both of you were given a briefcase with $100,000 cash and have been deciding on whether to share any money with each other.
Wow.
We want you guys to be a family together.
Through it all, they'll learn that it's not the money, but the journey that will teach them what they value most.
We don't have so much money, we have so much love.
Stop it. Stop it. Unbelievable. They'll spy on this other family to see if they're suffering and their moral fiber makes them deserving of the $100,000. Have they suffered enough? And is their moral fiber tough enough for them to warrant this money? Because money only goes to those who have suffered and are morally virtuous. But in the end, they'll come to realize, as they make millions of dollars for this network, they'll come to realize that there's something more important than money. And that is the sense that they're morally virtuous people. And then we'll give them the money. This is just, it's sick.
I don't really have any material about this. I think it's so grotesque that I don't know. I know that there's a lot of controversy about it, and people are calling for it to be pulled. And I actually normally I never really want anything to be canceled. Generally, like, whatever, put it on, and if you want to,
let's play the rest of this and see if it. I mean, I don't even know if I got. I think this is about as far as I got in this. But let's hear just like
50 seconds.
They're gonna find out what's really. We're gonna teach these people, and they refer to them as middle class, right? I mean, they're in horrible debt. I think one of these families, is like living off of. One of their spouses can't work, is living off $15.50 an hour or something. I'm sorry. This is... just continue.
Faced with the decision to lift your family out of financial hardship.
We just hustle and struggle for the last 20 years. I can take a break from that for a while.
Or to hold a helping hand to another family in need.
Do nice things for people no matter what the outcome is going to be.
What would you do?
If you've got a chance to help somebody, you do it.
You gotta give it away.
I made the decision.
I hate you.
I don't owe nobody, but somebody owes me.
Thank you so much.
I learned a lot about myself. It's about helping others. You changed our life, you guys.
This is The Briefcase.
You know, the message, I haven't even seen the show. And maybe when I tune into it, I'll be pleasantly surprised, where there will be this notice where they will sit down and say, want to remind you that wages for your cohort have been stagnant for 30 years. That when our tax policies were changed under Reagan, we incentivized CEOs and board of directors to cut costs as opposed to sort of investing in the future of this country. When they talked about a $700-800 billion stimulus, half of that was really tax cuts that you couldn't really enjoy because you don't make enough. I mean, I suppose it's possible we could tune into this. That's part of what they're going to teach these people living in financial hardship. They're going to learn that sometimes it's better to give than to pay off your student loans, unless, of course, you can't really get rid of those in bankruptcy anyways. But sometimes it's better to give than to pay for your diabetes medication until you lose a leg.
Doesn't even seem like a very good idea, even on the basic level. Like, it would be quite obvious what you do. You keep half and give the other half away. You look good, you get fit, you get money you didn't have. It's that simple. Like, why? How do you even have a show out of that?
Well, I don't know about the entertainment value of it. I mean, I guess what's the entertainment value of throwing someone in a pit with a tiger? You get to see them ripped apart. I mean, that's what this is about, right? We're just going to watch these people sort of weigh these decisions and struggle with the idea. And really, so their human suffering that they are experiencing because they constantly under stress, under financial stress, because either they didn't have the benefit of being born into a wealthy family, they didn't have the benefit of being born into an environment where they learn finance, they didn't have the benefit of a society where labor is rewarded properly. They didn't have the benefit of living in a society where society helps people out who were born into those situations. Or maybe they had a medical disaster, like a huge percentage of people who end up in bankruptcy. I mean, on and on. And so the entertainment comes from watching them struggle with how much they struggle and whether or not they will take this relief in the form of this $100,000. Which, incidentally, I don't know. I mean, some of these families probably have hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt if they went to college. Or medical, $100,000 worth of medical debt? That's not, I imagine statistically doesn't happen too often, but for those who are in medical debt, it's usually an enormous amount.
I mean, from that promo, it seems like they specifically took people who had medical issues. You have them talking about a guy who lost his leg in the war, a kid with autism,
of course, you've got
a little person.
Yes, you've got to allow us to have some sympathy for them. Because those are the only types of people who are deserving. Only good people are deserving of this blessing from above. And so basically, the lesson that's being projected is be morally righteous, be happy with what you have, and maybe if you play the lottery every day, you might win. That's basically it. You are powerless beyond the idea that someone's going to show up at your door and give you an opportunity to make $100,000 in a briefcase. Really unbelievable. I mean, that's just genuinely sick, really sick.